My name is Johnny King Jr., 40 years old, a husband, and a father of 4 kids. When I reached high school, I was influenced to join fraternity and started taking marijuana. I hung out with the wrong set of friends and learned to misbehave and get into vices. I started using meth, shabu, gambling, drinking alcohol, and got involved in gang fights. I hid everything from my parents. At home, I pretended to be a good son, but outside, my life was a mess. During my college day, my addiction to meth got worse. I lost control of myself. I would not even resort from stealing from my parents and started doing illegal activities that forced my father to tell me to move out of our house. I moved out and stayed in a pub house where I was introduced to some pushers. Eventually, I became pushers myself. I was desolate in my own bad habits. When my parents learned about all this, they took me home and gave me another chance. I went back to college and graduated. Unknown to my parents, I was still doing drugs after graduation. My drug addiction and vices became worse. I also got involved with 2 women at the same time and got both of them pregnant. I had a job at the time and I thought everything was okay. I thought I would find contentment when I got married, but I strayed away again and went back to my old vices, drugs, womanizing, and barkada. When my father passed away in 2009, he left me enough inheritance and business for me to manage. It was when I got really worse. I wanted everything in my way. I mistreated my siblings and disrespected my mother. I mistreated my wife, abusing her emotionally, mentally, and physically. I even threatened to kill her. I became a very violent person, carrying guns because of paranoia. My family became so distant and did not know how to handle me anymore. My kids were traumatized because of all of that I did. One day, my family decided to end my drug addiction. With the help of IDEA, they forced to send me in a therapeutic community rehab center in Batangas City. The life in that rehab was too much to bear. I felt so alone. It was when I hit rock bottom that I slowly learned to be honest before God and ask Him questions like, "Are you real? I know you, but I don't really know if you really exist." For almost 2 years inside that rehab, every day was a struggle. I learned to surrender all my pain and hardship to Him. Eventually, my mother decided to pull me out of that rehab and transfer me to Penwell Home. But then she told me that my wife and kids were planning to leaving me and that I have to be ready to accept that my wife no longer loved me. It was a hard blow on me and on the lowest point of my life. But I said to myself, if this is my fate, I need to face it. In Penwell Home, I feel accepted. It was where I was encouraged to get to know God. At first, I was not really interested in reading the Bible, but within the 4 days of reading the Bible, it was interesting that I will always end up in Galatians 2, verse 20. I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. This verse really touched me and moved me to talk to God every day. I experienced God's grace during my stay in Penwell. In answer to my prayers, my wife and kids started visiting me as well. From then on, I continued reading the Bible and attending CCF service with my family. God's love was slowly doing its work in me and my family. My marriage and my family relationship were restored until I graduated to Penwell Home. My wife and I also joined a small group where we both grew spiritually. By the grace of God, I'm already handling my small group. I'm also privileged to serve my fellow brothers in Penwell Home by sharing devotion as part of their recovery program. I also share devotion inside the city jail every week. By God's grace, I was assigned as an overseer of CCF Biyahe o Binigyan Laya ni Jesus Jail Ministry and one of the CPAG coordinator in San Juan City. Truly, the Lord can use messed up people like me to tell others the good news about our Lord Jesus Christ. Again, my name is Johnny King Jr., a slave of drug addiction for 20 years. Now my chains are gone, have been set free by the radical love of God. To Him be all the glory forever and ever.